Hi, everybody. David Burrows here with an exclusive one-on-one spotlight interview. Comedian John Wing Jr. coming to Jack Doyle's on May the 22nd. And I was able to catch up with John, and he was kind enough to give us some of his time here for this exclusive. Check it out. Comedian John Wing Jr. Well, this week on the entertainment scene, very excited. This came up last minute, but we were able to reach out to him. John Wing Jr. is coming to Sarnia to Jack Doyle's on May the 22nd for an appearance, and he's joining us here online. John, thanks for being here today.
Thank you. David, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Where are you?
Toronto at the moment. Flew in yesterday from Saskatoon, played North Battleford on Saturday night.
Oh, wow. So you're currently on tour and lots of things happening, and we're so excited that you're coming back to Sarnia. Do you wish you could get to Sarnia more often than you do?
Well, I get to Sarnia fairly often. I don't perform there very often, for a good reason, because if you perform too much somewhere, eventually nobody will come see you.
Right.
I try to limit my performances in town, but this came up, and the timing was excellent. So I decided, once I'd seen the room, which I saw the room in February, and I liked it. So I wanted to perform there. I did a guest set the night I was there.
Right. Yeah. So, with Cliff Erickson there in the Metro room.
Cliff Erickson. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great room, and we're expecting a big turnout there for you. Can we get a little behind the scenes of John Wing, and what is it that inspires you to do what you do? I mean, it's everybody's got their reasons for what they do, but I mean, you've been very blessed in what you're doing, and you're obviously very talented. So, where does it all come from?
I can turn a phrase okay, and I work really hard. I like to think I've gotten a lot out of a small amount of talent rather than the other way around. But I just like what I do, so it doesn't feel as much like work as doing something you don't like to do. So there's that part of it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy writing a lot, and I love to perform, and I like to perform in the different disciplines. I'm also, while I'm in Ontario this month, I'm going to record an album, a short album of my humorous songs.
Great.
And so, I wrote a new hour, give or take, of material, which I debuted in Winnipeg in April, and I'm just looking for opportunities to do that hour. I'm performing this trip in Aurelia, London, Pembroke, a few other places.
Right.
Sarnia, of course, we talked about. I'm just trying to, as long as I'm still wanted as a performer, I want to make the best of it, make the most of it.
Well, you definitely have your following and your fans wherever you go. I mean, obviously Sarnia loves you for obvious reasons, but you really get to travel a lot. Obviously, that must get tiring at some point?
Well, yeah. I've been traveling pretty steady for better than 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets tiring.
You're handling it well.
I'm used to it by now. You know how to limit it. I'll tell you something. I'm going on tour for 5 weeks, 35 days. I left home on Friday. Yeah, last Friday. And I get back June the 6th. And then I'm leaving on the 18th of June to go on vacation with my wife to Europe.
Oh, wow.
And I got to tell you, the idea of traveling for vacation is ridiculous to me. But we are traveling to Europe for 10 days. But
Oh, it's great.
if I lived in Florida, it would be a lot easier. I wouldn't have to travel very, very far to do ships,
Right.
because I do a lot of ships out of Florida. But
okay.
my wife doesn't want to live in Florida, and I guess in real terms, neither do I, other than for the fact that it would cut my travel to about a third of what it is now.
Right. A lot of your comedy, comes from life, right? What's
Yeah.
you tend to bring family into it a lot. Are they obviously are okay with it, right? Do they ever get mad at you for talking about them?
Sometimes, but if you're going to write about your life and your family life, you have to have something in you that's amoral about that. In that, if it even occurred to me that it would bother them, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
So it doesn't occur to me. Not that I'm amoral in all aspects of my life, but in that one aspect, if I write it and somebody is offended by it later, I'm sorry.
Right.
And you change little things. I'm writing a book right now, and I'm writing something about a high school guy I went to high school with, and I changed his name. Because, what's the point of, this way no one will recognize him unless they still know him or live in the town he now lives in.
Right.
And even then it'll be difficult for them to recognize him. It's just, sometimes you change things, sometimes you embellish it, but mostly, if I'm writing about me, mostly it reflects badly on me.
Right.
More than it reflects on family members. Mostly I'm the one who looks like an idiot. So that works out. But I have some very understanding family members as well. We'll say that.
Okay, perfect. Just saying, we talked, quite some time ago online, in the comparison and you to Stephen King. Do you ever get that still?
No, not a lot. Although a friend of mine met Stephen King in a bar in Winnipeg a few years ago, and he said, when you get up close to him, he doesn't look like you at all.
No, that's probably a good thing.
I suppose. I wrote a piece for the new book, essentially called My Movie Career. It's a very short piece, 2 or 3 pages. And the last thing I did was audition for the role of Stephen King in a movie, and I didn't get it. And that was the last time I auditioned for any acting thing. And because I thought, if you can't get the part of Stephen King, what are you doing here?
Yeah, right.
So I wrote a story about that for the new book. But no, it generally doesn't bother me too much.
Right. Well, listen, John, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I really appreciate your time on your day off here. We're looking forward to seeing you down at Jack Doyle's.
Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's
May 22nd.
Yeah, May 22nd, for sure. We're looking forward to seeing you there. And, I'll just tell you real quick. I remember when you and I first met. You probably don't remember, but it was probably about 20 years ago at Ups and Downs. And I was standing beside you the whole time. And I remember saying to you, has anybody ever told you you look like Stephen King? And you're like, no. And I had no idea who you were. And next thing you know, Claude was calling you up on stage for open mic. And I was like, dear Lord, I was just talking to that guy the whole time. And I have known you as the Sofa King.
Oh, did I do that?
Yes, you did.
That was yeah, it's an old bit. Not my bit. It's an old joke.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, the Sofa King. Yeah,
The Sofa
that's me.
King. Perfect. Well, John Wing, thank you so much for giving me your time here. Ladies and
My
gentlemen,
pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Jack Doyle's, May 22nd. Tickets, $15 available at Jack Doyle's. We're going to go back to the studio and talk more about John Wing.
John Wing Jr., thank you so much for this exclusive one-on-one spotlight interview. And again, John Wing coming to Jack Doyle's on May the 22nd. Tickets only $15 for this hilarious night of comedy with John Wing. And we're looking forward to seeing the show. Get down to Jack Doyle's to get your tickets. And thank you once again, John Wing, for this exclusive one-on-one spotlight interview. We'll see you at Jack Doyle's on May the 22nd.